All right, we're back with another Prize Picks video. This one is going to be for Monday Night Football. We got Chargers versus the Cowboys. Should be a good high-scoring affair. I think the line's at 50.5 in terms of total points in this game. So hopefully we see a lot of offense, a fun game to watch on this Monday night. And I think that's kind of going to reflect into my plays. I like a lot of overs. We're going to do 5 plays. We're going to do a kind of 3-man stack for Dallas. Going to talk about the running backs for each team, and then a Justin Herbert line that maybe people aren't looking too far into, but one that I like a lot. So if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, leave a like on the video, and let me know down below if you hate one of these picks, if you love one of these picks, or if you're thinking something totally different. I definitely like to hear your comments, and I respond to all of them. So let me hear it down below. So let's jump into the board. First up, we're going to go to Dak Prescott. I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot today. Let's go to his pass completions and go over. You could look at his pass attempts, but this did just get a bump from 33.5. And I was favoring the pass completions anyway. I think he's going to be efficient tonight, and I think it's going to be, again, a high scoring affair. So let's go jump into Dak Prescott's page here. Let's get to his passing completions. He's gone over this in 3 of 5 games. Obviously, couldn't get anything going against the San Francisco defense. Very different defense today in the Chargers at 39.5 passing attempts allowed against them per game. Obviously, we're going to the completions. You could look at attempts. I don't love the recent bump. He's only gone over this in 2 of the 5 games. But I think he's going to be efficient. He's got a lot of weapons. And teams have been throwing all over this Chargers defense. So I'm really liking Dak. If you look at the last few games against the Chargers for teams, Aiden O'Connell for the Raiders just put up 24 completions on 39 attempts. So that would be over in both of these regards. Kirk Cousins, 32 completions and 50 attempts. So kind of a similar offense in there, a pass-heavy offense for the Vikings as well as the Cowboys. And then Tua went 28 completions for 45 attempts. So I'm liking Dak to get this line for sure. And let's go to his first kind of combo here for the stack. Or let's get it on PrizePicks first. Let's go to his boy CeeDee Lamb. We're going over 71.5 receiving yards. This was at 69.5 a little bit earlier. So kind of trending in the right direction. Obviously, not scary to play bumps, but you can see people are betting this over. So CeeDee Lamb 71.5. Let's go jump into Lamb here. 70.5 right here, so that's 71.5 just updated. If you look at this team, let's go to wide receivers here. We'll look at running backs in a second. They are giving up. The Chargers are giving up the most yards in the league, 231 receiving yards per game to wide receivers specifically, and 329s in the air as a total. So I would definitely take your pick of Cowboys receivers, whether it's Lamb, whether it's the tight end Ferguson, whether it's Tony Pollard. I'm kind of liking all of those guys. I wouldn't maybe play all of them in the same slip, but definitely peek at all of them. These last 2 games, it was kind of a blowout in both directions. Again, we talked about Dallas not being able to get anything going against San Francisco, so this under kind of makes sense. And then this was a game against New England where they were just dominating, so didn't even need to do much in this game. The first 2 games are kind of more what I'm thinking of happening tonight. So yeah, a lot of signs pointing towards CeeDee getting this. Looks like CeeDee's exceeded 71.5 receiving yards in 4 straight games up against bottom 10 defenses, passing defenses. So loving to see that as well. So yeah, CeeDee's gonna be our first stack on Dak. And then our next guy we're gonna go to is our first running back of the game in Tony Pollard. You could look at a bunch of different things here. You could look at his rushing yards. You could look at his receiving yards. And you could look at his combo yards, and then you could also look at his fantasy score. I know I'll be playing his fantasy score on other slips because he could definitely get in the end zone today. But in terms of this video, I'm either going to go rushing receiving yards or receiving yards. That keeps happening. On PrizePicks, it keeps happening. And I'll jump right into his page and kind of think it over as we decide here. But I'm liking Pollard today. I think he's going to be very involved in the game. His receiving yards, he's gone over this in 2 of 3 games. Let's go to the over. Was it 21.5? He's gone over this in 2 of the 3 games. If we go back to that little tool I use over here. This is a free tool, CBS Fantasy. And you can go to running backs and you can go to yards allowed. Chargers are allowing the second most yards in the air to running backs at 54.5 a game. So that would obviously be far over for this Tony Pollard line. He also did play them back in 2021, where he got 31 receiving yards, so kind of a good sign there as well. Obviously, teams change a lot. And then if we look at his rush receiving yards total, he dominated in that game as well, 140 back in 2021. He's gone over this line similarly in 2 of 3 games. So I'm liking Pollard. Definitely look at his fantasy score. In terms of this stack specifically, I'm going to go to his receiving yards at 20.5. I think he gets, a few receptions. 3 receptions would probably do it. He could even get it, a little cheeky reception up the sideline and go for 20 yards in one play. So I love that. This is going to be the little stack we're doing, and yeah. But on the other side of the court or on the field, let's go check out Eckler. I'm going to his fantasy score, 16.5. Obviously, he's coming back after missing the last 4 or so weeks. They did have a bye, and I don't think they're rushing him back into things. I think he's ready to go. I think he's going to have a very good game in this game, and he's probably their number one weapon. But we can go check out Eckler here. Eckler, where is it? Let's just go to anything. Honestly, you could look at his receiving yards, you could look at his rushing yards, and when I kind of like both of those, and he has potential to get in the end zone, that's when I got to start looking at fantasy score. So in 2021, obviously he played that first game against Miami. He went over his receiving yards. Obviously, you have to look at the receiving yards allowed. Dallas is ranked 2 and only 185, but Eckler's just kind of that special. If we look at his rushing yards, he went over that as well, way over at 117. This is kind of not a bad rushing defense in the Cowboys, but definitely worse than their passing defense. So again, I'm kind of liking Eckler rushing. I'm liking his receiving. And then you got to start looking at fantasy score. Has he gotten the end zone? Can I bring up sleeper here? Let me see if I can get into my sleeper league. Maybe get a sneak peek of my fantasy team. Yeah, here we go. Let's go to players. I don't usually use it on my laptop. Players. Let's go find Eckler. I'm pretty sure Sleeper uses very similar fantasy scoring, and they're projecting him at 18.8. So that's like more than 2 over the PrizePicks line. Obviously, he has the potential of getting the end zone as well. Has the rushing touchdown earlier in the year. So yeah, I'm just really liking Eckler. I think he comes back after that bye week. He's missed a few weeks. I think he's kind of hungry to get his season going. So I'm going Eckler over 16.5 fantasy score, and then to round out the 5, we're going to go to Justin Herbert, and we're going to his rushing yards, 11.5. This was 10.5 a little bit ago, so kind of money is trending in that right direction. Let's go check Justin Herbert out over here. Rushing defense or rushing yards, it looks like it's still 10.5 on an outlier. We can get it to 11.5 right here. He's gone over this, so that's probably why it got bumped. He's gone over this in 3 of the 4 games. Looks like he had 11 in that game against the Vikings. So I was liking this originally. I'm really liking it. And jumping into the quarterbacks' rushing yards against the Cowboys. Let's go to their yards. You can see the Cowboys give up the 4th most rushing yards to quarterbacks, probably in scramble situations, giving up 28 yards to quarterbacks a game. Obviously, that could have to do with matchup a little bit, but Herbert has gotten this line in 3 or 4 games. So I'm liking Herbert to maybe have to scramble a few times. And yeah, Herbert over 11.5 now. So I got it 10.5 a little bit earlier, but 11.5, I'll still go with that for sure. So that's going to round out the 5. Just a little recap here. The 3-man stack for Dallas, Dak Prescott at 22.5 pass completions, CeeDee Lamb at 71.5 receiving yards, and then Tony Pollard, definitely look at his fantasy score as well as kind of his rush and receiving combo. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go to his 20.5 receiving yards. That's a 3-man stack, all overs for those guys. And then on the Charger side of things, we're going to Eckler over 16.5 fantasy score. Really thinking he's going to have a kind of a great game after coming off the injury, the little ankle issue he's been working with, and coming off the bye. I think they involve him a lot today. And then next up, we're going Justin Herbert last to finish us up, 11.5 rushing yards over. So that is going to do it for Monday Night Football. I'll try to get an MLB video out today. I might kind of combo that with some NBA preseason. I definitely want to start making NHL videos. Obviously, super excited for NBA to actually start. I believe it's the 24th they get going. So really excited for that. Definitely college basketball will be coming. College football will be in the works on probably Friday for Saturday's games. So yeah, just keep the subscriptions coming, keep the likes coming, the comments. It helps me grow, helps me know you guys are enjoying these videos. And that's going to do it. Let's make some money tonight. Peace out.